See, not to be that guy, but when babies get tired, they cry. When adults get tired, myself included, we get grouchy, right? We have less patience for things. And so when you're playing for 10, 11 hours a day on a very stressful, very difficult, and even doing so, like, let's say you really apply that 3 to 4 hour rule, and you go in there and you try really, really hard, you are going to be tired the rest of the time you play. So you're going to be a little bit of a shorter fuse, right? So the thing that you have to be really cautious about with the amount of time that you're playing is the intensity that the brain can focus with deliberate practice, which is what you're doing, right, is limited. And you can increase that amount slightly, but even the world's best fill in the blank, violinist, athlete, esport athlete, whatever, writers, right? We have limited intentional practice that we can get in every single day where we're like absolutely maximally turned on, focused, everything, right? And that's generally, this is very rough ballpark estimate, around 4 hours, 5 hours, tops. And so what happens is when you break that barrier, you're either doing it in one of two ways. You're breaking that barrier and playing, and there will be a dramatic dip, not a dramatic, but a noticeable dip in your ability to focus and give effort after that because your brain is just tired, right? Or the other thing that you could do, and you'll probably notice this with a lot of streamers that stream for a long time, they have found a way to like park their brain at like 75, 80% and just coast. To where they're not tired because they never really push themselves during the first 3 to 4 hours. Do you kind of see what I'm saying? So they could just kind of play at like the middling level. Now you can improve with that, and you could certainly stay the same doing that if you're already good to begin with because you're not exactly getting worse. But you could probably see where I'm going with this. It's not efficient in terms of improvement or learning. And it's not the best way to kind of break the barrier, for lack of a better term.
It's not quick.
Right. It's not efficient. It's not quick. So for you, you've got a lot of time to play. And this is the thing about this, though, is my point is not that you're playing Overwatch too much, but that what we want to do is do a better job segmenting between tier 1 and tier 2 for you. Tier 1, you log in, you warm up. The first 3.5, 4 hours of your play, right? Hard as you can, as focused as you can, with whatever goals that we give you on Sojourn, Cassidy, Ash Soldier, whatever you're practicing for the day. You have very specific goals. You're very focused. Like you said, with your positioning, you're turned on, you're focused, you're not autopiloting, you're doing exactly something specific. And maybe actually you're not even playing that good because you're so focused on what you're practicing. Maybe you make other mistakes, but that's okay. You are fully engaged, deliberate practice, bingo, right? Now, when that's done, do you have to turn off the game? No. But what will you be playing for after that point? What's the purpose of playing after that?
Not sure. I mean, a lot of times it's like I will get like after that, like there will be that point where I'll just like I will notice the dip and like, and then but I'll still keep playing because the people I'm playing with, they want to keep going because I'll either get on like earlier than them, or I'll always have like an earlier start than them, or they'll just want to keep going regardless.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's social. It's for fun.
Yeah.
But it's for fun, right? It's not for improvement.
Right.
And so for you, you need to find that line and then communicate to yourself, hey, I'm going to be feeding a little bit. I'm not going to be fully focused, Maybe you get on an alt, maybe you off roll, or maybe you just keep queuing, but you just know that you're just not going to be playing or practicing as well as you could. But that's okay, right? It's totally fine. What matters is the first 3 to 4 hours. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For you, it's as much about not just your practice habits, but it's your expectations for yourself. Don't put unreasonable expectations for yourself. You're doing the equivalent of trying to run a marathon at full speed. And so then when you make mistakes and you get tired, you're like, oh, what am I doing? I'm not focused. But it's unreasonable for you to expect yourself to be that focused.
And then I get tilted because of it. Like I have very high expectations for myself because I know what I'm capable of, and when I'm not doing it, I get pissed off.
The first 3 to 4 hours, are you expecting yourself to play well?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm expecting to play like not necessarily at my best, at least towards the beginning.
Right.
But definitely just like around the level where I'm normally at.
Right. Now let me stop you right there.
Yeah. All right.
We don't want you to play well necessarily. That's not what we're asking. When we're saying deliberate practice. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You might not play well because you're practicing something. You might make more mistakes than you normally do. When we're saying deliberate practice, we want those first 3 to 4 hours your brain to be on, but we're not judging the quality of play. We're judging the quality of intention with that play. You might be trolling the lobby because you're stress testing some stuff, or I told you that your Sojourn E's suck and you need to practice them. And so then maybe your mechanics get a little bit worse because you're so focused with your Sojourn E. That's what we want, right? So then we don't care if you quote unquote play well or if you go 26 and 20, right? We just want you focused, fully turned on. You kind of see what I'm saying? So if you don't play well, don't get irritated in the first 3 to 4 hours either, right? Because that's not the goal. Now, you're probably going like, well, then when do I actually just play the game? When do I actually okay, well, this is where like we have to be a little bit objective about it and like be honest with ourselves. Like it's not reasonable for you to be able to do both of these things perfectly. Just play for fun and play for practice. And never you're gonna have games or you're gonna catch yourself trying to end up winning or trying to end up playing well. That's okay. We just want you to shift a little bit closer towards a better structure. And I would suggest maybe once every, I don't know, once a week, have a day, maybe even twice a week, have a day where you're not playing to practice at all. You're just playing to win the first 3 to 4 hours. You are playing to pop off and blow people's brains out. Right. Because you've already had 3 days where you were essentially running the equivalent of drills, right? Drill, 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 drill. Next day, drill, 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 drill. Next day, drill, 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 drill. Now you got to show it off and see where you're at. Because on those days, you also get to realistically see what your actual skill level is when you're not thinking, when you're just playing to win. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Because you talk about autopilot. Autopilot isn't the enemy. Untrained autopilot is the enemy. You do things on autopilot that a diamond player wouldn't even dream of, not even mechanically. Like you position, you use cooldowns, and even when you're playing badly, they go, man, how do they do that, right? Because you do you've trained your autopilot. You have a very advanced autopilot. It's just not as trained as you want it to be, right?
Yeah.
You kind of see what I'm saying?